is just fantastic. Captain's log, subdate 220214.7. To start the week, I held a senior staff meeting where we spent 75% of it railing on Borg for only being at 100% efficiency. Director Orkata has suggested that we remove upgrades that he has to make him better at his job as punishment. I've decided to agree with Dorky here. Start by removing his legs. Well, it's been 2 weeks since we covered a Karen, so let us today try and work out if today's subject is a Karen or not. Yes, again it comes from TikTok, but it does have an article, it has 2 videos, and it involves a restaurant chain I had never heard of, and one individual being very, very, very rude, allegedly. The restaurant chain in question is called Zaxbys. Zaxbys are a majority franchised company, with less than a quarter actually being owned by Zaxby themselves. They have more than 600 locations in the southern United States. They offer chicken wings, chicken fingers, salads, and sandwiches. Sounds delicious, minus the salad. The alleged Karen incident took place at a drive-thru to a Zaxby's. And to go through this, we're now going to look at the first video covering what this alleged Karen did. As it is quite short, I'm going to let it play from start to finish before we offer any comment. There is a follow-up video that is longer but contains explanations, and we can certainly address that when we get there.
Oh, and she can't get around us.
I got all these people.
Behind you, ma'am. Nobody asked you to come to Zaxby's. You're going to be late to work. That's your fault, babe. That's your fault, babe.
You're going viral.
It's my fault. You shouldn't have came to Zaxby's if you was on a time limit, love. If you were on a time limit, you shouldn't have came to Zaxby's. If you was on a time limit, you shouldn't have came to Zaxby's. If you was on a time limit, you shouldn't have came to Zaxby's.
You can't drive nowhere if you're not in your car, lady.
Thank you, love. Have a nice day.
So I think we can all agree there is a considerable amount of information to unpack from that clip. We can start with the fact that a lady, much like many people, some of whom I'm sure are ladies as well, was in a drive-through queue to get food from Zaxby's. Apparently, if you're in a hurry, according to the lady recording, you probably shouldn't be queuing up at Zaxby's. That may well be an indicator that, yeah, waiting times are like getting a doctor's appointment in the United Kingdom, which is an indicator, apparently, that the alleged Karen made a rookie error, but because she believes herself above this stereotype, not the Karen stereotype, the Zaxby's apparently having quite a lengthy queue at a drive-thru on a regular basis, she decides to get out and engage with customers to complain about the length of the queue, which is, by the way, cultural appropriation. That is a British thing. We like a jolly good queue, and we like to complain that we're in a jolly good queue. But that same jolly good queue is going to be queued up to perfection and orderly, because we will not have our queues sullied by anyone but us. And if someone does, we will write a letter of complaint to that person's representative or manager, whichever's easiest. Now, to go back to the clip, if you can ignore the person and the passenger saying, if you're under a time limit, you shouldn't have gone to Zaxby's, over and over again, what the alleged Karen, I believe, is trying to do is get everyone to move so that the alleged Karen can leave the queue. The problem here is, and it's an obvious one, for everyone to move, and there's a few vehicles behind, would mean to reverse fully out of Zaxby's, which is unlikely because others may well themselves queue up anyway, to create enough space because you won't be able to make the turn to leave, which means you have driven yourself into a corner where you have to stay and see things through to their natural conclusion. If you are late because of that, it is a decision you made and therefore you must pay the price for it. Now, allegedly there is more to this. The clip alone is too short, so we have other evidence to look at. Based on this, not really a Karen, more a customer who has pre-buyer's remorse with a side order of impatience. So now let's go and have a look at the other video as it has more to it.
Alright, you guys, story time. So, me and my friend go on lunch break from school, and we go to Zaxby's across the street. And the line is wrapped around the building. So we pull in, and we go all the way around the building to be able to get in line. And then lady pulls up behind us, and she has already gotten her food, and she's wanting to go. So I get as close to the car in front of me as humanly possible to see if there's enough room for her to get past. Obviously there wasn't, and she didn't like that, so she laid on her horn for a good 30 seconds. And me and my friend hop out, and we're chewing her because that's just disrespectful. You know, you don't do that to folks. I mean, especially only having to wait for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So and we stay by our car the whole time. We don't go over by her vehicle. And she rolls up her window, so we go ahead and hop back in our car. And about 3 seconds after, she decides that she wants to hop out and runs in front of my vehicle and starts spreading her arms out, showing me this 2 feet of space that I'm supposed to be able to fit my car through. And that's when you see the video start.
So with this, we are provided the additional context that the alleged Karen was queuing to get food, got food, then got stuck in queue. When the driver tried to give them space so they could vacate the queue, they were unable to do so, which got the alleged Karen cross, and led up to the clip you all saw at the start. Someone might now say, but this is anecdotal evidence. Is it really accurate? As it is from the same TikTok user, it's still good context regardless. But we do now, with that context and the earlier context, need to work out if this alleged Karen ticks any of the boxes. 1. Starting a scene. Yes. 2. Having a pointless argument that leads nowhere and has no real resolution. Yes. Asking to speak to a manager. No. In fact, this one is the glaringly obvious no. It's also one that's worth more than the other 2 put together. But before we draw a conclusion, perhaps what we should do is play the remainder of that person's video, because there's a little bit left, before we work out whether or not the alleged Karen is or is not a Karen.
And I just want to say to all the people in the comments that are saying that people need to be nice to one another, why are you doing this lady this way and such, this lady is literally standing outside my car acting a crazy. She's acting a crazy person, and she's lucky I'm not who I used to be, because it would have went down a whole lot different. Y'all probably wouldn't even seen it on video.
During that same video, you may not have noticed that this lady had alleged that the alleged Karen had thrown racial slurs. But the part I really want to talk about, because I hadn't actually noticed it, which speaks volumes for how much I was paying attention, is, don't you just love it when someone acts like they're tough by saying, "Oh, but me in the past, I would have absolutely mullered ya. It wouldn't have been on camera. Oh, don't want witnesses." Yeah, nothing reeks of tough more than that. So with that all aside, we now get to the most important part of this video. This very short one, I'm very sorry. Is the lady a Karen or not? The answer is no. She is most certainly not a Karen. She's impatient, and she made a scene. Why? Because she's impatient, and because she thinks expert mode on for all. Small gap to get car out of, not enough. Must make scene. Not indicative of a Karen. But I could be wrong, and of course I would defer to all of you as to whether or not this is a Karen. So as we are done, do let me know in the comments whether or not you think this is a Karen. Also, if you don't want to engage in that, simply leave the comment, as it really helps this channel, along with smashing the like. If I don't see you on Twitch later, have a great day, and thank you all very much for listening.